Oh, hi everyone, good evening again, and it's lovely to see we've just got Martine come on, brand new. Hi Martine, welcome to the call. I'm not sure if she can hear us. I'm just going to mute everyone. Oh no, that'll mute me. All right, if everyone can just mute themselves and just have a listen. Thank you. There's not many of us. Martine, just mute yourself down in the bottom left hand side, or just on your little square.
And
Great. Well done. I'm glad you could be on. Okay, so everyone, tonight we were not quite expecting to have as long for our training call tonight, but the recap of the US conference didn't go on as long as I expected. So we've got a little bit of time so we can do some really good get together and training. So tonight, because I've prepared a couple of documents, which one of them I've just put on our Facebook page, I was just thinking the other day that, you know, so many people do this business in either snatches of time or a little bit part-time or fairly seriously or absolutely go like Billy-O and very, very seriously. But regardless of how you're going to do it, one of the biggest things is being organised. Who's decided recently that they need to do some customer care and then they realise, oh God, where do you find that customer care procedure? Oh, where do you find that document? What do you do? So that's why the document that I did, that I've just posted on our Facebook page, tells you all about everywhere. So you know how when someone first starts, and Martine found this out firsthand last week, you find out there's the juicycrew.info, there's your personal website, there's your virtual office, there's the Team Angels Facebook group, there's Hunters and Gatherers, there's Road to SDVF Hunters and Gatherers, there's Australian and New Zealand Juice Plus franchisees. You can imagine, for those of you who've been with us for a while, if you go backwards, imagine how absolutely overwhelming that is at first. So in the document, you'll see when you download it, and I suggest you actually all print it out so you've got it, and you would definitely supply that to a new person. Basically, we say you don't have to learn everything all at once, but we want you to know these resources are there. So the actual document will show you what the resource is, why we've got it, what it's for. So I hope that helps everyone. So being organised, I thought I'd show you a little bit tonight about, we're going to use the 5 high-paying activities, but I'm also going to, before we get there, I'm going to help you set up your office or your little workbench on the dining room table, wherever you do your work, just so you are a bit organised. Because basically what happens, when you're organised to carry out those 5 high-paying activities, and that organisation you're showing someone brand new, well, that's going to lead to duplication, correct? So we can't expect people to be organised and get right into it and really have a good system if we haven't got one ourselves. It's a little bit like me expecting a lot of the team, but I'm not prepared to do it myself. And that duplication, we know, leads to absolute success. Time after time after again, you duplicate yourself. And this is what we're seeing, a fantastic example in Lucy's team. She found someone special, who found someone special, who found someone special, and they're all achieving. They're pretty much all fast-tracked and doing wonderful things. So, and of course, when you get success in your Juice Plus business, next thing you've got freedom and lifestyle choices. So it's a progression. Organisation leads to duplication, which leads to success, which leads to your freedom and lifestyle choices. So getting ready, tools and resources. So the first thing you need is you need to get your tools and your stationery. Make sure you've got them and they're ready. So do you have business cards? Well, you don't have to have business cards, because the last thing, most of us do have them. The last thing I'd like you to think is that you can give someone a business card and say, yeah, it's a brilliant product, give me a call. Because guess what? 99 out of 100 times they won't call. But if you happen to say, I'd love to get your details so I can send you some obligation-free information, or give me your phone number, I'll send you a link. You can just have a look at it in the privacy of your home. Because then they can go and do that, but you've also got their phone number or their email or whatever, so you can follow up. So the whole point when you talk to people, don't say, and it's the same as asking for referrals. We discussed this last week. You know, please tell your friends we don't advertise to keep costs down. You know, great, tell your friends, but please ask me to send them or supply information to them. Everyone's busy, you know yourself. So often someone will give me, like, I'll have a carpet cleaner here or something, and they'll give me 2 or 3 cards. Tell your friends. I might actually tell my friends, but I won't give their business cards out usually, or I've lost them or whatever. But really the best thing you can do is get permission for the person you're trying to help to ring them. Okay, so business cards, and for some really inexpensive business cards, Tina's a really good contact, because usually Tina, if you'll email her your information, she'll tell you exactly what to do and where to get them, etc. With compliment slips, I'm not sure if they're in our Dropbox, but I used to have them under stationery. I've made my own. They're very, very easy. If anyone can't find them in the Dropbox, just let me know. Email me a request and I'll send you mine, and you can just change the details. Voila, you've got two with comp slips on an A4 sheet, and they're really nice to put a little personal note if you're sending some drip feed or whatever. The next thing are brochures. A lot of people seem to think they can do this without brochures. We want to be seen as a professional, whether we're doing it in snatches or time or doing it full time and really seriously. So get yourself some brochures, guys. The Farm Fresh Nutrition, they're $11 for 40 of them. It'll take you a while to go through those. They're really worth having. And also the other thing, many of you know that we discuss it as drip feed, but pertinent documents that help you with either giving information to a customer, for example, why am I recommending Juice Plus, doctor, what vitamin should I take, that sort of drip feeding. You need to have those photocopied and either in some sort of filing system, or I quite often say to people, just get a lever arch file with plastic sleeves, pop them in that. So you need to be organised there. And also a customer file. We spoke last week or whenever it was on customer care. When you do those customer profiles, it's really nice when you've got a next box call or some customer care to do, you go straight to your file, you can find Jenny Jones, and anything you do or say, you can put it on there so you've got a good record next time you speak with them. And you've also got evidence too if they try and tell some little porcupines about your customer care or their order or whatever. The other thing that I would say too is really, really vital, and a lot of people, they will hear me say this, and myself included, we don't do enough, and I've just started to understand your virtual office. I've been exploring it so fully lately. Do you know today that I went on the treadmill? I was very proud of myself. I sat in my health kick today. Today I was on the treadmill, and I want to do what I was doing when I got into the habit recently, and that was going to virtual office, going to quick links, going to forms and applications, and under miscellaneous there were all the Success Summit, the NMDs with their little 30-minute talks that we had, and I couldn't believe how much else there was under the miscellaneous heading. So do yourselves a favour tomorrow, go into quick links, forms and applications, scroll down and have a look at miscellaneous. There's little things like we've probably got it in our Dropbox or on our Juicy Crew, but there, lo and behold, everyone's been asking for it, is the grid form with your 30 and 30. So the big grid form is there. There's little things about, is it gluten-free? There was something else about the marketing plan explaining that. There were so many things there that were fantastic. You would actually need hours and hours and hours to explore the virtual office, but why don't you make it a bit of your personal development to do that? Even if it's 10 minutes, every time you're online and going to do your customer care thing, I'm just going to have a little explore a virtual office. And if anyone ever wants to come to my home, and we'll have a bit of a workshop around it, we can explore together. But seriously, this is your own business. It's in your interest to look for it. So, so it will take you time, but it really will do you good to explore it. So, so when everything's in place, Obviously, you need a phone and a computer, or at least you really only actually need a phone. Now you're ready to go to work. And the reason why I wanted to sort of tell you all those things to get organised is that if you decided on a Monday that you want to really, really do your Juice Plus business properly, the very first thing for you guys to do on a Monday, even though you might think, oh my God, I've got to get into my customer care, I absolutely have to, that is one of your 5 high-paying activities, but there's so much more than that. So I just want to share with you, so talking to people, obviously you need your telephone, but you will need your grid, because every time you ring someone, you need to put their name down and maybe a little bit of information on it. Now, one of the calls you do, it might not be ringing a new person, talking to people and using the grid as following up. So, for example, today I went right through, because the idea is to do a new page of the grid, 30 and 30, every month. So I went back about 6 or 7 months and I did some serious crossing out. I made a few phone calls, got a couple of no's, a couple went to message bank, so I didn't cross those out, but the ones that I actually got no's from, they crossed out, and I got a different highlighter and circled all the ones, there are about 7 of them that I really want to call today. And I did those calls. Those of them, again, who've gone to message bank, I still haven't done. The reason why I used my grid today was that I knew that I had some tools that could help me get some people over the line as either a customer or a franchisee. What were they? They were events. Now, who here is a busy mum or a busy person? I think all of us. Okay. I always think that organisation is next to godliness. I haven't done this for a long time, but today, and I know someone I was doing a coaching call with the other day, they've decided to as well. I'm just going to see if there's a question there in the chat. Okay, so I used to print out all sorts of flyers. So if there was one at Tamara's tomorrow night, I'd print that out. If there was John Holowati one, I'd print that out. I have all these A4 coloured things staring at me on my desk. I decided that was too messy for my OCD. So this morning I thought, okay, when I'm talking to people this week, what have I got coming up that might interest them? So if you see my sheet there, I'll just explain what I put on there. I put, obviously tonight I wasn't going to get a guest on our team training call. I didn't think it was necessary. And I did really encourage and build the team to be on our guest speaker ones tonight with the US conference wrap up. Then I've got Tuesday, Tamara Live, Design Your Life. So I know when I'm speaking to Jenny Jones, is that something I can to invite her to? And before you make a call to anyone, whether it's customer care or a prospect, have a look at your sheet. So I would suggest you do this sheet every Monday morning, and some of it will be the same old, like Tuesday night's definitely on every night. There could be a really great guest speaker on the Monday night. That could be really great. Then I've written Thursday, June the 8th. It's just that I might not be building for that yet, but next Monday morning when I do my list again, I'm going to write John Holowati, June the 8th. So then I've also written down for this week, Saturday the 13th, high tea. Tamara and her lovely new girl, Hannah, have been good enough to open their launch to everyone, which, let's face it, the more the merrier. And if you've got some people there who've got a good story, it really does help. So there's a high tea at 10:30 to 12:30. So I've invited 4 people today. I've got a couple of no's and I'm waiting to hear from 2. So I may not even go myself if I haven't got a guest. If Tamara or Hannah particularly asked me to go to support them, of course I'd try to. But I'm not even going to make arrangements. I check my diary. Yes, I definitely can be there if I need to be. And if I have a couple of takers to come there. So I've told them it's a product launch for a new distributor. And obviously the people I've invited are really people that I really am trying to get as franchisees. So it just helped me to have this written down on my sheet in front of me. It just jogged my memory. And then I've also put down Thursday, May the 25th, our Team Builder of the Year celebration dinner. Because if I've got someone who is a prospective franchisee, I'm going to invite them along. What a better thing to invite them along. It's purely social. a little bit of reward, awards and recognition, but mostly fun and just having fun. So that's why I put this on the list. And then also, after having a call with a couple of leaders, Rachel and Michelle, today about some south of the river events, I put Friday the 26th, Michelle and Rachel's Own Your Own Life, Design Your Life thing, because I then went back and looked in my grid, and I remembered a naturopath who's one of my customers. She used to be a franchisee. She's now just a customer. I spoke to her quite a few months ago. She was going on a big European trip, and she's asked me to call again. She lives south of Mandurah. What a perfect thing to invite her for. She might not come, but this is what our business is. It's all about the numbers. You invite 10 people, you're brilliant if you get 3, you're really good if you get 2, and you're fabulous if you get 1. But if you get none, at least you've done what is needed. And it's a good practice to do. I've spoken to several people today who decided that today they were jolly well going to get their grid out and they were going to make those calls. You feel so good when you've done them. Don't forget, if you've been doing this grid for 6 to 8 months, those people you spoke to 8 months ago, particularly if you left off on a really nice note, their circumstances might have changed. So if you really got the situation where, God, I don't know who to ring today, what have you got to lose? And if you really like that person, maybe you arrange to have a coffee with them. Just build the relationship. You never know. So I hope that helps people. So I would make that either a Sunday night or a Monday morning job to write just your A4 sheet of what's going on. And as I said, some of those are regular, repetitive things, so they'll be there every week. So we covered talking to people. Now, when you talk to people, you might need to send them some information. So wouldn't it be nice if you could just grab a brochure, a business card, 4 or 5 different sheets A4 drip feed, and post it off, good old snail mail. Or if the person prefers, you can just actually send them an email, particularly if you've discussed it and they're happy to receive an email with some attachments. That's fine. But I know my personality, so a lot of you know that some people are tactile, some people are visual, some people are all sorts of different things. I know that I like, and it's possibly my age group, but I like to have something. If I haven't got time to read it, I'll put it in my pile of stuff. Eventually it will get read, and then it'll go in the bin when I finish with it, all filed. So talking to people, you need to be organised, because if you're only doing this in snatches of time, you want to have all those things photocopied and ready. You want to have envelopes purchased, even buy some stamps and have them in your desk. Last thing you want to do is have to go to the post office to buy 1 stamp. Just be organised, guys. It's almost like your little bit of administrative secretarial part. If you do that well, it will really help. And I can see a few people nodding, and they know that as soon as they get organised, their business goes better, because they're not stressed with it. They're not beating themselves up. Okay, so then working the grid, it's good to get customers. It's good to get franchisees. It's good to know who to invite for events. And then building for events. Those events, first of all, commit and see if you can be there yourself. If you can't be there yourself, have a thought, well, I probably could build for this and get someone who's going, or the host or hostess, to look after my people, particularly if you've got a good relationship with that person. Customer care. Let me tell you, when all of a sudden you're really quite busy and quite a few emails come in saying you've got to do call 2 or call 3 or whatever, and you've got things to send, you want to be organised. You really do. And also, there's nothing worse than you've got to do a call to someone. You can remember that person's name, and you can't for the life of you remember what you discussed last time. You know there was something that's in your memory, something that was important, but you can't remember it. Look, it could be something really important, and they'll be really touched if you touch on it and talk about it, or something that you've remembered. I noticed the other day with my own customer care that I was forgetting to do the Juice Plus Effect survey on call 3. Just, you know, you only need in front of you and just say, I hope you've got a couple of minutes. Most people love doing this survey. I just want to do a quick survey for you, and I'd be delighted to send you a sachet of our complete. in the mail to you, if you wouldn't mind doing this, because they're not doing that Juice Plus Effect survey for you. They're doing it so you can say, aha, see, you are sleeping better. It's those little aha moments, even if it's only 2 out of the 10 questions or whatever there is. It's just that. The other thing to being organised is as well is knowing that you can go and get a flyer. So, for example, when I see that tomorrow's got some events coming up, I immediately save those flyers and then I can put them in a post to you guys. But it's also really good if I want to send it to a friend or a prospect. So remember to save those flyers. You can always go through and delete them after a while. So just if you're on the ball all the time, after a while, you will get a system and those habits will be good. Personal development. I really think it's not exactly what it means, but I really think that your time for personal development will be really well spent on exploring the Juicy Crew, on exploring the virtual office, and if you've got time, read some of the personal development books. Or if the only thing you do is do 10 minutes a couple of times a week on reading or listening to Eric Worre's GoPro. Personally, for me, it is a Bible. And every time I listen to it, I'm inspired, which reminds me, I actually haven't had them on in the car lately. So do yourself a favour. And if anyone hasn't got GoPro, please let me know and I will gift you one, book or the audio. You're very welcome to it. So what I might do now is, if everyone can unmute, I might open it up to questions about getting yourself organised or what parts you're having trouble with in the 5 high-paying activities, or what are some of the aha moments you've learned just lately? What's something you're doing in your business that might help others? Has anyone got any questions about what we talked about tonight? Just unmute yourself if you do want to say anything. Probably be like most people on a call, you'd be stunned mullets. Okay. Righty-ho. Has anyone got anything they'd like to share that they've done lately that really has helped them feel organised and feel as though they're in control of their business and they're not fussing most of us will at some stage panic that we're a little bit behind or we're not doing the right thing. Has anyone got anything to share, something they've started lately? I know Rachel has done this thing with the events to help her. So who started using, out of the blue, started using their grid and finding it does work?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. All righty. Well, what I'd like to ask is, can anyone give me any suggestions of what you would like to discuss on future training calls? Where do you feel are some areas that you'd like some more guidance? Obviously, some things aren't suitable for a team training call. They really need to be done at my home. You're all welcome to make appointments with me anytime, whether it's a group thing that we do or whatever. Any suggestions? And if not, if you can think about it. The other thing I'd like to discuss tonight is all the upcoming things. I would love, I think I've made a save the date announcement. You get to the end of the day and I don't know what I've done on Facebook and what I haven't, but our team dinner, our celebration dinner on Thursday the 25th, I hope as many of you as possible and all the other people in the team will come along and have some fun that night, our team awards night. And also for those of you who are going to conference, get excited because I think it's going to be amazing. And as some of you heard on tomorrow's call just a while ago, on the Friday night, we booked out a Thai restaurant and NMDs, we're going to put a few bottles of wine on the table. After that, it'll be a cash bar, but it'll just be an easy, like a banquet sort of thing. And that will be awesome. And pretty sure we're going to get John Holowati as a guest, maybe John Blair, who's literally running the show in the US. So some pretty fantastic people popping in and sharing with us. Michelle said she'd like to do a brainstorm or something where we talk about breaking the ice and getting people's contact info. Yeah, it definitely can be done on a call. What I would suggest you all do is do a refresher for yourself. There's a thing of mine that only recently I put on in the files in Team Angels, and that was the word spiels phrases. You will get so much out of that. And I guess what we could do, Michelle, on a training call is do some role play, if that's what you'd like to do. So let me have a think about that for next week. And I'll see what I can put together there. I'm just going to stop the recording.